Welcome to my PSO2 new player guide for 2021 North America and global at fall of episode 6 of a PSO2. In these series of videos, I'm going to go over you need to know as a brand new player, how to take quests, how to level, what to do, what to get, how to have a awesome time inside of PSO2. And if this video is your fourth, make sure you do the like, favorite, subscribe, hit all the bell, do what you do so you don't miss out on the rest of this series. And if you're not aware of what Phantasy Star 2 is, it's a free-to-play MMO Devil May Cry / Diablo Monster Hunter type of game. So let's go ahead and begin with a part 1 here. Is of course getting your hands on PSO2 and some of the stuff to do when you are for starting out. So the game itself is available over on Steam, Epic, Windows Store, and the Microsoft Store for Xbox One and Series X and S as well. So once you have the game downloaded and ready to go here, which will end up being roughly about 80 gigs, give or take. Once you have PSO2 downloaded on your platform of choice, you have been brought to, of course, the main menu here to start off as a new player. All you need to do is, of course, start the game, and from here, you will go into picking what ship you want to be on. The best way to think of this is pretty much servers. Each of these servers are isolated to itself outside of 1 or 2 gameplay modes, which we will get into like later in another video. But for the most part, you want to pick whatever ship that your friends are playing on, or whichever ship you want to start on. Recommendation wise, I would say stick to ship 1 and 2, since at the time of that video, this is where the most populated is if you want to be around a lot of players. And from here, it will go ahead and create your ID and be taken to this little menu. Where you can see your login history and a whole bunch of other things, but that's not exactly important at the moment because we need to go ahead and create a new character. So let's go ahead and select new character. From here you will be at for a player ID. For a friend, if your friend have recommended you through a recommendation code, if you are just joining without it, just go ahead and hit do not use and it will be totally fine. Just know if you do have a friend that have a code, they will get some items in return. But you know, nonetheless, go ahead and go through the cutscene and the intro video that will explain some of the history of PSO2, and then we are brought here to the character creation, where you're gonna go ahead and pick whatever race you want to be. Might it be human, a Newman, Cass, or Dooman. The thing to keep in mind about this is do not really hold that much weight or thing consider as far as stats are concerned. The only thing that technically come with races is mainly between cats and between pretty much all the other races here, which will have a decent outfit given to them that race can actually use. For the most part, that's going to come in relevant as we get into New Genesis, but for the time being, pretty much pick whatever you see fit, and from here you will be taken to a list of different classes. These are the bait classes, but there is other, which we will get to momentarily. We do have a pick of 6 out of the gate. Just know there are more that you can pick from once you get into the game itself, but these are the bait classes made up of Hunter, which is pretty much your warrior type class. You got your Braver here, which is mainly made up of doing very quick attack and movement, right along with the ability to actually use a bow, so you can pick between long range and short range. And then we have our Bouncer class here, which is another class that is extremely quick and made up of you doing combos with your feet between kicks and whatnot. So if you want a very high movement class, that might be an interest for you. While along with its sub-weapon of being able to actually use double bladed, so you have your pick. And then we have a Summoner. Summoner is the class that is fairly simple, and if you want a class that is very easy to get into, but a very much in-depthness as far as coming actually leveling up your pets. So your pets is the main thing you're going to be leveling through a whole bunch of different means. But the class overall is mainly a U for long range, and also a more of a support May style class. But with that being said, you can do a whole bunch of damage with Summoner. And speaking of mages, we do have the Force. The Force is pretty much your normal mage. that will go ahead and use elemental such as fire, wind, and whatnot for it attacks. So that one is very much focused on pretty much being a black mage for say heal. And then we have our last job, which is Ranger. Ranger is of course a long range character, so if you are interested in staying in long range and doing a fairly heavy amount of damage between machine guns and rocket launcher, that might be the class for you. And then from here you will just go ahead through equating your characters. If you need more information as far as breaking down in any more detail how to do this, you can go ahead and check out my video I did all about character creation that will go in way more detail about that, but pretty much make your character to your liking. And then you want to go ahead and name your character or whatever you see fit. And then you will get one lap verification here. Make sure everything is correct. Just go ahead and hit OK if you are good with your choices. And once the tutorial is done, if you did do it, you are dropped off here in the main lobby, which is the best way to think of it, in the hub where you're going to take all your quests, interact with NPCs, and interact with other players as well. But as far as being a new player, what you should be doing out of the gate is the main thing you need to do if you picked a class and you want to end up changing it, might it be not to your liking, or you want to get your hands on some of the other classes, you want to run over here to the deck counter, talk to the guy behind the desk, and from here you can go ahead and change your classes. And now you will have access to all the classes in the game except for some Scion classes. Scion classes are classes that you unlock at level 75, so in other words, don't worry about them right now. As far as the classes you do have the ability to pick from now, you have of course the default one you saw when you made your character, right along with a couple of new ones here with Fighter, which is made up of use lightweight quarter combat weapons, so think of it pretty much as the hunter but a lot more quicker. And then you have Gunner, which is made up of using 2 machine guns instead of 1, and the class itself can pretty much do flips, dodges, and activate bullet time. So in return, the class is very useful if you someone who want to play long range but also have a very high level of movement for your class. And then you have Tekel. Tekel is the class that you want to play if you want to play a healer class. So the class is mainly made up of not only using elemental but also being able to use healing spells and enhancing spells as well. And from the same NPC, we do have the option to not only change our classes but also a learn crack skill. These will be abilities you can learn every time you gain a level on your character. You will gain 1 point all the way up to level 100, and these are pretty much extra abilities that you can go ahead and put on your character. You can of course just go ahead and manually pick the abilities you want, or you can just go ahead and do a recommended setup that will automatically give you what you need for your class. Personally, my recommendation is play your class up to a few level till you have an understanding of your class and what type of character you want to build, since each one of the classes can use multiple weapons. And ideally, once you figure out what weapon you like, you might want to spec into it, mainly because the skill trees are pretty much set from the get-go. Once you use your point, you pretty much stuck with your choices without you spend money to buy a reset pass, or every once in a while you might actually get one for free if a special event is taking part in the game. And another thing you need to keep your eyes on is your daily, weeklies, and tier mission. So you can just go ahead and see in that menu by easily hitting a start if you are playing with a controller, and then put X or square depending on what controller you're using. And from here you will be brought to the menu where you can see your main quests. With main quests are mainly tied to doing story content, which we will get to later. You have your dailies, which I recommend doing the pretty much as soon as possible, since once you work your way through a whole bunch of the, not only would it be a good tutorial for some of the other gameplay that you can do, such as crafting, gathering, sending kudos to people, which is pretty much telling people like good job, and many other things. I recommend working your way through all of these, and once you actually complete the majority of these, you will switch over to having the same 5 quests every single day, which is a fantastic thing to get to, since you will get items that will help you level. And not only dailies, we do have weeklies as well, with the, of course, does change out every week. They pretty much stay the same for the most part. The only thing really changed from here is as you complete a couple of them, you will once again get into the same 5 over and over again, which will give you any more item for leveling. So keep an eye on these as well. And the last thing to look at here is guild missions. These are missions that we set every week, and when they reset, it different quests every single week. But not only are they used to get a whole bunch of experience and a setup, which is the in-game currency, you can also get the star points that you can also take advantage of the mission pass, which all you need to do is head over to the globe in your menu, and from here select mission pass, and you can see all the items you get. So you need 10 points or 10 stars to unlock each tier, and it pretty much works like any other battle pass you might have in any other free-to-play. So once you run around the ship, do some of your dailies and weekly, and learn the basics of the stuff you can do in the lobby area. And now that you have run around, did some quests, helped out some NPCs on the ship, and just aboard to your heart content, and if you are ready to get back out there and start killing some monsters, all you need to do is head back to the main gate area here, which is where you started, and you want to run over to the deck counter. You can either go to the one on this side or another one over there on that side as well. You can go to either one, but you want to go to the last NPC on the corner. In the case of here, we're going to go ahead and talk to Rebecca, and once you talk to her, you will get a little pop-up explaining some of the new quests that got added. But from here, we have a few options though. We have main quests, which these are going to be your main thing you're going to be looking at. We got story quests, which is mainly for the plot. If you go through the cutscenes and do some of the story content, this is where you would do it. You have your subquests, which is made up of mainly just subquests. So these are events that might be added or might be on certain timers. These are overall just places to go if you are trying to do a certain type of activity. And then we got plastic quests. This is where you can try out different classes and figure out which one to your liking and just learn the basics of your class. So let's go ahead and look at main right now. Main is made up of a few options here. So of course we have limited time quests as of now. Limited time quests is pretty much what it states. It's limited quests that will have rewards, and it is a requirement of level 40. So till you get to level 40, you don't need to worry about that. So the main thing you need to be looking at here is exposition. These are made up of pretty much zones in the game, and you want to go ahead and walk through the pretty much as fast as you can. You don't need to overly think about the quests. Just hop in, go through them, and each of these will be made up of 2 to 3 zones with a boss at the end. And once you go ahead and unlock all of them, you will have access to any more activity, because this is pretty much how you unlock each area in the game. Very highly recommend going ahead and doing that when you first begin. And as for a story quests is here, as I stated, this is where you're gonna go ahead and go through the main story. This is totally optional, but there is a reason to actually do these. By taking part in these, especially with episode 1 being a little more focused on cutscenes, which is a little bit sad, but as you go through each of the episodes, they will get a little more in depth with actual combat encounters and dungeons and whatnot. But the main reason you want to do this is mainly to unlock items and to unlock NPCs that you can use in your party if you're a solo player, as well as unlock Star Gem, which is one of the currency in the game that you can use to buy this amount of stuff. Might it be outfit, loot crate, the mission pass, and so on and so on. So ideally, it's just good to do mainly to get NPCs, so you can party with them, get you some Star Gem, and also to unlock more NPC on the main ship that will give you more quests. And for side quests, we have arc quests, which are pretty much remit versions of the exposition with different enemy spawning, and also different things you have to do within it. You could also have battle metal started out here, but this does require you to go through episode 4 a little bit to actually take part in this. We have a trigger quests, which is a pretty much giant like wave battle that you can actually take part in at any time as long as you have an item. You have a challenge quests, which is a group activity, and then we have battle arena, which is a PvP. There will be other options that will become available to you in the menu as you go through the game, and as you level up, more content will become available here. So for the sake of the video, let's go ahead and go into main mission and accept exposition and forwards. From here, you will have some options for your mission at hand, which is of course made up of this in difficult level. It will go all the way up to ultra hard, certain exposition and quests, but these are pretty much unlocked as you level up. So let's go ahead and do normal, and from here we have a few options such as join party, sort for party, view quest log. Quest logs is where you can view what items are being dropped, and also what augments are being dropped, which augment, to put it bluntly, will just mainly be attachment you can put onto your weapons and equipment with this synthetic effect. Think of it similar to material, but a little more permanent. And then you have enemy lists, which will show you what enemies are spawning here. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna select normal and accept quests, and here you have a few more settings for party stuff. If you're interested to do this a certain way, you can. So once you actually accept the mission or exposition, you will be brought to your ship. Your ship have a few things to note. Not only do we have the ability to start the quest by jumping into the blue ocean stuff, we also have a few options inside of our ship. So the fourth one here is the potion counter. This is a very important thing to actually use because these will give you different bonuses depending on how much money you want to spend. This is of course using Meseta, the in-game currency once again. But if you do have a subscription to Phantasy Star, so you can sign up for a 30-day subscription for $15 a month, you will get access to the premium drinks, which will be more powerful versions of whatever type you're drinking, in the case of it being attack up, as well as a guarantee of certain bonuses and boosts to be on your character. But you can pretty much use whatever you see fit here. Might be attack up, defense up, HP up, so on and so on. So make sure you grab yourself a drink before heading into a mission. And once you actually do grab one of these, you will get a pop-up here telling you what effects you are getting with a main effect and a side effect. If you are drinking the free potions, these will be randomized. So if you are looking for a certain bonuses, you can go ahead and keep drinking the same potion to you get what you are after. Just know it RNG. And then we have the terminal here on the left with the exclamation mark. And here is where you can access NPCs and party members. So this is for anyone that might be playing solo and want to just get through the game by themselves, not worrying about playing with their friends, or if their friends are offline. If you have anybody on your friend list, you can also summon their NPCs here to come along with you as well if you want an AI version of them. But under allies, it's made up of all the characters that you have met in the main story as of now, as well as certain characters that will pop up during special event. And so by actually unlocking the character from the main story, you can build up a relationship with them by using them in your party more often to receive a present from them. So something to keep in mind there. And then under a free is made up of everybody who is on your server, who have registered their character to be used as an NPC. The characters will actually scale to whatever level you are at, and you can summon up to 3 of them. And you can see the player name and for what classes they are playing. And you might notice a little thing over on the right side that say you will get fun. Fun is another currency you can use in the game to buy furniture, loot crates, and other knick-knack inside of PSO2. And once you pick out your party members, we have the computer on that wall, which is the shop. Here you can go ahead and buy your healing items and also some bonuses as well. that you can use in some other quests such as the event capsule. But the main thing you want to be looking at here, and the main thing you want to keep on you at all times, if you're not playing a mage or a class with healing, you want to make sure you keep your mates on you, of which each of the dots represent how high level they are. So ideally, you want to pick the third one if you can. And you also want to have moons on you. So moons are used to bring people back from the dead. So if you are playing in a party and your teammate go down, you can bring them back from the dead with this. You can only carry 5 on you. So make sure you always have the 5 on you. And then we have another computer on this side with this little computer here. You can also find it in the main lobby as well. But that one is made up of your storage. So you can pick up items from your inventory or store items as well. And then we have this computer over here. That menu will be where you can upgrade PC equipment by the name of wings, which will give you other data effect and whatnot. But starting off, you will not have this available to you till you do some classes. We do have that light computer here. The computer is made up of pretty much the ladies behind the deck counter. So if you just completed a mission, instead of running all the way back to the main gate, you can go ahead and start some quests here. And if you ever notice the top of each of the zone flashing red, that is letting you know a urgent quest is underway. Best way to think of these are pretty much like raid battles. The only difference is these do pop up every few hours in between, usually about 2 hours, give or take. But these are special events that will only be available during the time limit of 30 minutes for you to actually take part in. Some of these will be made up of actual fighting bosses. Other will be made up of actually going through a dungeon. And some of them are repeatable and others are not. And these quests are a good way to get into some co-op play, and as well as some fantastic affiliate leveling you can get here, and also some more more desirable items will also drop from these. And the quests are interchangeable on a 2-week schedule, and if you do want to check out the schedule for yourself, you can check them out over on PSO2.com. I will have a link below to the scheduling, and like I said, these are on 2-week schedule, and you can plan out what events you're going to take part in, as well as other events that could be happening, such as casino stuff or going to musical concerts. So whenever you see the flashing light, make sure you propel and take part in the quests. But do not worry if you are busy doing other stuff and you're not on the ship. You will get an announcement 15 minutes till to let you know, hey, head back to the ship and get ready to go do the quests. And to actually begin the quests, you want to run over here to the deck counter, the normal NPC you talk to go on expositions and other quests, and you will see a brand new option here saying urgent quests. You want to go ahead, click on that. Some of these will have variant for harder fights, especially if you got some solo skills in you, but for the most part, you always just want to go ahead and go with the top one. And just like any other quest in Phantasy Star, it will be broken into different categories depending on what level you are, from a level 20 to a 96 in the case of this quest. The levels will vary depending on which urgent quest you're doing, but for the most part, allowing you around level 5 to 10, you can take part in the quests, and once again, highly recommended joining these anytime you see them. So there you have it. There are a little bit of tips to help you off, especially when starting off as a brand new player inside of PSO in 2021. And if any of these subjects interest you and you want a more deeper discussion about it, I have videos on all sorts of stuff as far as beginning here in PSO2. So if you haven't already, and if you are new here, make sure you do like, favorite, subscribe, hit all the bells, and let me know in the comments if you need help with anything at all. Also, don't forget, I do stream here on YouTube every Saturday and Sunday starting at 3 p.m. Central, playing PSO2 over on Ship 1, as well as I stream a Monday through Wednesday starting at noon Central, playing all sorts of games. And if you need to see any more of my content, feel free to hit up my Patreon. Links in the description. And with that will go ahead and do it for me. Hopefully you found that video helpful in some way, shape, or form. And I will go ahead and see you all in the comments. welcome to the end, everybody. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the videos here, since some of that stuff might be interesting to you. Also, a big thank you to all my supporters over on patreon.com/Maconn. You can find the link in the description, and I like to give a call out to Kyle Blower. I probably mispronounced your last name. Sorry, but thank you all for your support, and I will see you all in the comments indeed. This time, actually in the comments. Bye.